am doing a 20-minute checkout on the Friday morning, I am very likely to be racing on the Friday evening, and this is what's happening. I am doing the Park Hall 5K tonight, a fairly local race in Oswestry. It's very much a last minute entry. I only found out about this race last weekend and I entered Tuesday this week. I don't have a clue about the most local races. If you're watching, cheers John for commenting on my Strava and putting this race on my radar. I decided to enter because since doing the Cultural 10K last weekend, I'm like, okay, I'm on board with training races again. I had a good experience. I pushed myself more than if I had been doing a solo session. I want to do more of those. So I saw that we were heading into a heat wave this week. It is really warm for us in England right now, but it's only after I had entered the race that I had a proper look at the weather forecast and realized how warm it was going to be. So tonight in Oswestry, at the time of the race, which is 7:30 p.m, it should be about 27 degrees. So brilliant. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I've never raced in high 20s temperatures. I don't remember. 22, 23 degrees Celsius, yes, for sure, but 26, 27, I'm pretty sure it's unknown territory, so we'll see how that goes. And I don't know much about the course. I just had a bit of a nosy on Strava to find out more about what it's like. I went on the Strava activity of runners who took part in it last year, and I saw that it looks fairly flat, but it's not pan flat. It's not a Battersea Park type situation. It looks like there's some gentle inclines in some sections, and it's 1.5 lap, and that's pretty much all I know. So very much like the Cultural 10K last weekend, I am not going into this race on super fresh legs and has not changed my training plan since I've decided to race this weekend. He is not, adapted the volume. All we did was replace the speed session I was meant to be doing today with the race tonight. So to give you a quick rundown of my week of running so far, started Monday with an easy 14-kilometer run. And then Tuesday was an easy double. Wednesday, I went to the club track session in the evening. Thursday, what did I do? Easy 45 minutes. And then this morning, I just did my little 20-minute checkout and then racing this evening. If there's a week to be sipping on electrolytes, it's probably this week. So that's what I'm doing. I've got my gear mantra here. And now I'm going to try to decide on my race outfit for tonight. For the top, it's here. I'm thinking I'm gonna wear this super lightweight Say Sky vest and go with those black shorts. Now it is so warm that a part of me was almost considering wearing the race briefs, which I've never worn. There's still the tag on it because I don't know, I do feel a bit self-conscious. Tonight is too much of a local race, still not this time for the race briefs. And on my feet, I am going with the Adios Pro 4 today. So needless to say, in those conditions, expectations kind of go out the window. Tonight, I am genuinely curious to see how I'm going to hold on. Am I even going to be able to run sub 19? How will I be able to finish? I am giving myself permission to pace it terribly because I want to use this race as a bit of a pacing experiment. I don't really want to hold back at the start. I want to go out hard right at the gates and see how long I can hang on. Basically, that's the plan. So it could result in the biggest positive split of my life so far. And I'm okay with that because tonight it's about effort and it's also about curiosity. Now, one thing I've done, where are they? Here. So I put these in the freezer, not to drink, but basically to use as ice packs. So I'm hoping they're not going to completely melt by the time the race starts, but I'm thinking if I can put these ice cold things on my neck and shoulders before the start, that could help. Another thing is I'm going to pack this Sturker cooling gel. It's one of those that leaves a cooling sensation on your skin once you've applied it. I've actually been using it this week before bed because it keeps me cool when I fall asleep. So I was thinking, well, I could maybe put it on my legs before I start the race. That could help. I don't know. Oh, and one more thing. I am not going to be having my camera out on the course with me today. I am not going to make it any harder than it's going to be. But thankfully, Ben is coming along with me to spectate and he will be able to get some race footage for the vlog. finished my warm-up and I mean, low-key dripping already, so that would be interesting. That's exactly what it's like.
What time did you do?
18:12.
Second, Naomi Cook.
Okay. 16.
It's Florence Caulfield.
Oh, she's also
I've just finished my Sunday long run, 22 kilometers this morning. So for the week, that is 96.5 kilometers of running plus 3 gym workouts. So pretty solid week of training. Let's do a bit of a recap and race review of the Parkroll 5K on Friday. So I really did not expect much, and I ended up finishing first lady in a time of 18:12, which is a teeny tiny small 1 second 5K PB, but for a training race where a PB was not even in my radar of possibilities, I'll absolutely take it. While looking at the whole female field, I honestly don't think I was the fastest on paper. There's at least one female runner who I'm pretty sure she's faster than me. So I think she must have been pacing someone or something, I don't know, but I would have expected her to finish first, to be honest. But anyway, the whole female podium was a Shrewsbury clean sweep, and then the second and third men are also from the Shrewsbury Athletic Club. And the guy who won, for those who are into triathlon, is Matthew Collins, who just a few weeks ago finished third at Eagleman 70.3 in the US, just behind Sam Long and Trevor Foley, who are amongst the best North American triathletes. Obviously, Friday evening was rather warm. I think if it had been 10K, I really would have struggled, but 5K is almost like, by the time you really start overheating, you're towards the end of the race. And I did use the cooling gel. I applied it a few minutes before the start. And I don't know if it was a placebo effect or something, but it really might have helped. I would do it again because the cooling sensation on my legs, honestly, even if it didn't do anything, it didn't hurt. It felt pretty nice. And then when I was putting it on, there was a group of guys finishing their warm-up. I could tell that they were watching me and having a bit of a laugh seeing me do this. I'm pretty sure they thought I was applying one of those, pure sport CBD balms or whatever, which, if it had been the case, okay, fair play, you can make fun of me. But no, I was just trying a little something to stay cool. The course itself, not a walk in the park, not the easiest course. There is, quite a noticeable incline section. I didn't think it was going to be, like that. I thought it was going to be more gentle, but no, it is a proper incline, and you run it on the first full lap, and then you also have it on the partial second lap. That section was on fully closed roads, which was really good that they were able to do that. Another section, you were on the pavement, and then you would kind of go onto a little pedestrian path. This section is very narrow, so for a good chunk of the way you can't overtake, and you also do this part twice. Now looking at my pacing, fairly uneven, but that correlates more to the elevation profile than me like kind of dying at the end, because you can see that my slowest kilometers were the ones where there was the most elevation. I think overall in terms of pacing and execution, I didn't do a terrible job. It was a really good training race. I actually really enjoyed it, and I think it was just a great local event organized by Oswestry Olympians Running Club. And I think that's it. I've covered it all. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this running content, please hit the subscribe button if you've not already. It is free, and for small YouTubers like myself, it means a lot. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye!